Hello, my name is Mike Gaines and welcome to Home Gains. Today we're going to talk about the 7 things you want to look for when you're previewing a property. These may not be obvious to you or disclosed fully or not in the reports, but these are things that could have an effect on your decision on purchasing this home and how happy you are going to be down the road. All right, the first thing we want to look at is, does it back up to a commercial building or a restaurant? Those are things that you want to know. Now, that's probably going to be in the disclosures, but the impact of that is a little bit more than what they would describe in the disclosures. Some of the things you want to think about are those businesses, like a restaurant is going to have some late night patrons, going to have noise, parking noises. If they have a bar or a band or music coming out, you're going to hear that. So those are all things you want to take into consideration. Also, businesses and restaurants, they get deliveries. They may get them late at night and they may get them early in the morning. So you're going to hear those delivery trucks, you're going to hear those noises, and that may be something you want to consider when you make an offer on that property. The other thing that you want to look at is that those businesses have trash cans. Not only are the trash cans going to be picked up typically early in the morning, but those trash cans attract other things like stray cats, rats, cockroaches, ants. And so those are things you should take into consideration when you purchase a property that is nearby any type of commercial building, restaurant, something that has garbage, parking, noise. All of those things can affect the desirability of that property. Okay, the second thing we want to consider is parking. You want to make sure that you have a parking spot in front of your home when you get there. You want to go by after work maybe and see how the parking is for people when they get home from work. How busy is that street? You want to make sure that you have somewhere to park that is at least in front of your house or close by. Now, one other thing to consider is, in our neighborhood, we have some very high multi-residential properties, 4 to 6, 7 stories tall. And all of those units have 1 or 2 cars attached to each one of them, but they don't provide enough parking in those structures for those tenants. And so the tenants flow over into the neighborhoods. And we're seeing some of our streets being impacted by those tenants bringing in cars after work. They park them, and somebody will come and pick them up and take them back home, or they'll ride a bicycle back home. So that really is impacting a lot of streets around these multi-residential properties. So you want to come by after work, drive around, make sure that you have plenty of parking in front of your house or on your street, and make sure that there's no impact from nearby multi-residential properties that will send a lot of cars over to your neighborhood and make parking very difficult. The next thing you want to look at is at commute time. See if this your street is impacted by the commute. Are you going to have a difficult time getting on and off of your street or getting places to go after work? Also, you want to make sure that your street isn't a cut through street where people are coming down, speeding down your street to get to another street with having not having to go through an intersection or a set of lights. So it's always good to go back at other times, look at the property, see what the parking's like, see what the traffic is like, and make sure you're happy with the location of the property. The next thing that you want to look at is if it's located near a school. Schools are great because people think, well, we got a gate, we can get the kids to go back there and play, they can go right to school, they're never going to be late. And that's great. And there's a lot of convenient things that you can use with the school and the area around it. But one of the things you want to be concerned about is other people being in those areas. Now, if you have the sports, let's say the baseball field or the football field nearby, you're going to hear that and you're going to be concerned about those noises and sounds late at night. So that's something you want to be aware of before you purchase a property. How much of an impact is that yard going to have on, or that field going to have on your property? The other thing you want to consider is that late at night, anybody's accessing those schools. And so you could have undesirable type people hanging around, partying, making a lot of noise behind your fence that's going to be difficult to control. So think about all aspects of having a school behind your home. All right, the next thing you want to consider is water. Where's it going to go when it rains? You want to make sure that there's the proper drainage, that walkways and driveways are sloping away so that the water doesn't collect anywhere. You want to talk to the sellers and talk to the agents, say, hey, in the wintertime, are there any tricks, any special things that the seller has to do to make sure that water doesn't collect or puddle and it makes it a good flowing system around the house? And also, a lot of times in the winter, you'll see large puddles out at the street where the driveway connects up to the gutter. the ground has sunk down and large puddles have formed. Look for that. Make sure that this isn't one of those properties. It's probably not something that you're going to change your mind about purchasing the home, but it's something to consider, and you're going to probably want to do something to rectify it once you do purchase a property. All right, the next thing you want to look at is electricity. Is there enough? Most homes only have a 100 amp service, and a lot of folks are getting electric cars, and that's going to require a 50 amp upgrade. So if you're looking at a home and you're thinking that you want to get an electric charger for your car, make sure there's enough power, and if there's not, anticipate the cost of having that 200 amp service installed so that you can have your electric car charger or air conditioning or hot tub, which all require upgrades in electricity. Also, look out for where the power lines are. Some folks who live in the properties do not realize that they have a set of power lines that run along their back fence or in front of their property. And also remember, PG&E has an easement to go in and work on those lines. They'll give you notice that they're going to come in, but they have the right to work on the poles and the lines and to do service. The next thing we're going to talk about is location. There's two things you want to kind of keep in mind. The first one is if you're on a corner lot. Sometimes corner lots have more exposure, and this can lead to more break-ins. So if you're looking at a property that's on a corner lot, take that into consideration. Is one side of the property on a very busy street? Is there a bus stop nearby? Bus stops also contribute to break-ins. So those are two factors you want to look at in making a determination if you want to buy a property or not. Well, I hope you found those 7 tips useful. If any of those items impact your property you're looking at, do a further investigation and make sure you're happy with the results. Once again, my name is Mike Gaines. This has been Home Gains. Send us an email if you have any questions or concerns about real estate, this video, or any other videos we have. And please like and subscribe. Once again, Mike Gaines, have a great day.